At the dinner table, Marcus tossed a stack of photos in front of me. Have I not told you to keep your distance from your clients? Grace, do you not understand plain English? It's just work. What kind of work? The kind where you sell your looks? Milo stumbled out of the bedroom, rubbing his sleepy eyes. Why are you arguing? Are you two getting a divorce too? Marcus reacted as if he'd heard a joke. Divorce? Look at your mom, she wouldn't survive without me. But I was tired. Let's do it. In this day and age, do people still think women can't live without men? Do I rely on you to gaslight me? Or for your physical prowess? Is my vibrator broken? I turned off my phone and began clearing the dishes from the table, carrying the stack of photos with them into the kitchen. Marcus followed me, Milo trailing behind him. Mommy, I was still half asleep. I didn't mean I wanted you and Daddy to divorce. I don't want you to divorce. Milo's round eyes were already brimming with tears, and he looked utterly pathetic. But stood by, saying nothing, let alone comforting his son. I knelt down and wiped Milo's tears. It's not Milo's fault, Mommy thought of it herself. And it's okay if we divorce, it doesn't mean you won't see Mommy anymore. Milo tried to say more, but Marcus pulled him away, rushing him back to bed. Once they were gone, he looked at me with a complex expression. Grace, are you serious? I nodded. With your meager salary, you have to shop around for the best deal just to buy a dress. Do you really think you can survive without me? Marcus was accustomed to his superior position and never bothered to inquire about my work. Naturally, he didn't know that I had long since risen from a junior employee to a project manager. In this world, no one is indispensable to another. Fine, you've got guts. I'll bring the divorce papers back tomorrow, and we'll see if you sign them or not. Marcus turned and walked away after saying that, as if even looking at me for another second brought him bad luck. A moment later, I heard the apartment door open and then slam shut. I stared at the stack of photos I'd tossed into the trash can, my mind wandering if Marcus had gone to see Chloe again tonight. Chloe, Marcus's childhood sweetheart. She wasn't in good health and had been recuperating abroad. She returned a year ago and joined Marcus's company. Compared to me, a money-grubbing veteran of the corporate world, she seemed like an innocent princess, untouched by the world. Kind, gentle, and lovely, she was a pure white jasmine flower. Yet, these photos in the trash can undoubtedly bore Chloe's fingerprints. Heart heavy, I finished washing the dishes, took out the trash, and went to bed in the guest room. The next morning, as I dropped Milo off at school, I remembered to ask him what he meant by his words last night. It's our English teacher. She used to look sharp and beautiful every day, but lately, she's been taking a lot of sick days and looks tired when she teaches. I heard the other teachers say her husband is divorcing her. I remembered that English teacher, she was a confident and outgoing girl, a bit outspoken. I hadn't expected her to be so overwhelmed and distraught by a divorce. Mommy, can you please not divorce Daddy? I don't want people to say I'm a child without both parents. For parent-child activities, I want our family to go together. Hearing the faint quiver in his voice, my heart ached. How could I, an adult, not understand something even a child grasped? I had avoided talking about divorce before precisely because I knew Milo wouldn't be able to cope. Milo, do you remember the rose you used to keep? You loved it so much and always kept it in your bedroom, but it slowly withered. I know. Because it needed sunlight, and my bedroom doesn't have any. That's right. Right now, Mommy is that rose. Do you want Mommy to wither? Milo, looking somewhat confused but understanding, walked into the school. As I turned, I saw two familiar figures across Main Street, Milo's English teacher and Chloe? How could she be here? Before I could get a closer look to confirm it was her, the two of them had already started fighting, slapping each other and pulling hair. The fight ended quickly, they had already separated before I even got close. So, I didn't go any further, returning directly to the company. I was working on a big project recently, competing with several other companies, because nothing is set in stone until the contract is signed. So, as soon as I got to the office, I was swamped with work, finishing documents, and then rushing to meet clients, not getting home until evening. A draft document lay on the coffee table, the words "divorce papers" prominently displayed on the cover. Marcus sat on the sofa nearby. Are you so busy now that you can't even answer my calls? Or have you finally realized that what you said yesterday was just out of spite and you don't want a divorce anymore? My throat was dry and sore from talking too much. So I said nothing, simply picked up the agreement, quietly signed my name, and then pushed it towards Marcus, gesturing for him to sign. I truly don't understand you. I just said a few things, but there's a limit to being spiteful. Once I sign, you'll have no room to back out. Think about the consequences. I still didn't speak, just pushed the agreement a little further in his direction. Marcus's expression froze for a moment before returning to normal. He signed quickly and forcefully, as if he wanted to tear through the paper. After signing, he threw the pen down. Don't you dare regret this. Okay. Marcus acted quickly, moving out the very next day. He left the house to me, along with several other properties. I couldn't be bothered to manage them, so I simply found a real estate agent to look for buyers, planning to sell everything. Milo wasn't very happy, but he just cried in my arms, making me promise to always be his MO. I hadn't expected Chloe to be blocking my apartment door the next day when I was about to leave for work. She wore a white dress, her hair was up, and there was a touch of red around her eyes, looking on the verge of tears as she faced me. Grace, please don't divorce Marcus. He's been in a terrible state these past few days, constantly drinking and getting angry. Is it because of me? I shouldn't have joined Marcus's company, I shouldn't have appeared before you too, but I truly didn't mean to ruin your relationship, really. Seeing no reaction from me, she even reached for my hand, then slapped herself across the face. I know, you're angry. Just hit me once to calm down, and please don't be angry with Marcus anymore, okay? Marcus rushed over, breathless, to this scene. Without a word, he pulled Chloe behind him, shielding her, as if I were some kind of monster who fed on helpless little lambs like Chloe. Grace, the divorce has nothing to do with Chloe. Don't listen to what those people say. And weren't you so decisive? Why are you taking it out on her now? I was used to the fact that Marcus's intelligence seemed to plummet whenever Chloe was involved, yet I still found it absurd. She has her own two legs. I have neither her phone number nor her WhatsApp. Did I send a carrier pigeon to summon her? If you cherish her so much, keep her safe by your side, so you don't suspect me of everything. I've told you countless times, Chloe, and I don't have that kind of relationship. You always think the worst of people. 3. Mr. Marcus, I honestly don't have the time or inclination to care about your exact relationship. Whether you're childhood sweethearts, normal colleagues, or plan to marry soon, it has nothing to do with me anymore. Marcus's expression shifted several times, his chest heaving. Clearly, my words had infuriated him. Chloe, behind him, listened to me, and her eyes brightened slightly. You say it has nothing to do with you, but why is your tone so bitter? Besides, we haven't even gotten our divorce decree yet, even if we did sign the agreement. Let's make some time this afternoon and go get the divorce decree. With that, I ignored them both and walked away. That afternoon, Marcus drove to my company to pick me up. My colleagues, looking at me with teasing expressions, said I was so lucky and they envied me. We're going to get divorced. Everyone collectively fell silent. I got into Marcus's car amid the sudden quiet. He handed me a small cake. This is Chloe's apology gift to you. Look at her, she didn't even do anything wrong and you slapped her, yet she's worried you're upset and bought you a cake to apologize. I took it and set it aside, untouched. Why aren't you eating it? Isn't this your favorite flavor? Aren't you hungry, not having eaten dinner yet? It was touching that Marcus still remembered my favorite cake flavor, but it has peanuts. I'm allergic to peanuts. Peanut allergy? Since when? I remember you used to drink peanut milk and made me peanut cake. I watched the street scenes receding outside the window. Yes, that was in the past. Ever since Milo was born, I developed a peanut allergy. Marcus's attention to me had waned significantly. How would he know? Standing in front of the county's office, watching several young couples pass by with their bright red certificates, I felt a sense of disorientation. I, too, had once been full of hope for marriage. Marcus kept chattering beside me. Are you really sure? I'll give you one last chance. Just say you won't leave, and we'll go straight home. Let's go. They'll be closing soon. After getting the divorce decree, I didn't take Marcus's car, I hailed a cab and went home. A week later, the company's big project was successfully signed, thanks to everyone's hard work in our team. Everyone cheered and demanded I treat them. Dinner at the creek tonight. Grace is so generous. Long live Grace. Since there were many of us, we simply booked a private room. I ran into a department manager for Marcus's company on my way to the restroom and learned that Marcus and his colleagues were also dining there. Seeing me, the manager looked surprised and pleased. Oh, Grace, you're finally here. Mr. Marcus is in a bad mood today and has had too much to drink. You should go check on him. Without waiting for me to speak, she pulled me towards their private room. The door was ajar, and Marcus, clearly drunk, was slurring his words. Divorce. Grace actually wants to divorce me. But I know her too well, she just thinks I haven't been spending enough time with her, and she's being spiteful. She loves me so much, how could she really divorce me? The department manager who brought me was visibly shocked, unsure whether to lead me in or let me leave. The people inside noticed the commotion at the door and all looked our way. I had no choice but to enter. Chloe was sitting next to Marcus, wiping his face with 2 wet wipes. Marcus's face was flushed, but he was cooperative. As I walked into the room, Chloe gently guided Marcus's head, and he slumped onto her shoulder, his face against her neck. I could clearly hear the gasps in the room, and Marcus's soft whisper, "Jasmine scent." For suddenly, I felt a wave of nausea. It was Chloe's usual perfume. That reminded me of something that happened before. During that period, a project at Marcus's company had problems, and he worked late every night, but no matter how late, he always came home. Only once did he not come home until the next morning. He was clean and fresh, his clothes immaculately ironed, not at all like someone who had just pulled an all-nighter. His clothes smelled of jasmine then too. The atmosphere grew even more awkward. The department manager who brought me wished she could sink into the floor. "It's fine, Mr. Marcus and I are already divorced. Whether he has a new love or an old one, it has nothing to do with me, so please don't make a spectacle of me. We signed a big contract today, and we're celebrating next door. I'm in a good mood, so dinner's on me tonight." Amidst a chorus of forced laughter, I exited the private room and immediately went to the restroom to throw up. I wasn't sure what disgusted me more, Chloe's persistent, haunting presence, or Marcus's utterly defenseless attitude toward her. Indeed, people are different. When I dined with partners, there was always alcohol in front of me. But a quick glance just now showed only a cup of tea in front of Chloe. Chloe was delicate and fragile, while I was tough and resilient. Drinking until my stomach felt like it was going to burst to secure a project, that was just what I was expected to do as Mrs. Marcus. The next morning, I received a call from Marcus. "Grace, did we bump into each other at dinner last night? I drank too much yesterday, why didn't you take me home? I woke up at Chloe's house this morning. What kind of impression does that give? Mr. Marcus, do I need to remind you again that we're divorced? I can no longer take you home. You're free to go to anyone else's house. It doesn't matter. Don't call me again." After blocking his number, I added Marcus's WhatsApp to my blacklist. That weekend, I went to Eleanor's house, intending to tell her about the divorce. To my surprise, Chloe had already arrived and was chatting happily with my former mother-in-law. Chloe's cooking is still the best. After all this time, she still remembers I love apple crumble. If she hadn't left back then, she would have been my daughter-in-law already. Seeing me, Eleanor's expression immediately changed. "You're divorced, what are you still doing here? Don't tell me you're still clinging to my Marcus?" I put down what I was carrying, turned, and walked away, not wanting to say another word. Just as I stepped out, I ran into Marcus, who was returning for dinner. I walked around him, but he chased after me. "I didn't know Chloe was coming today. Why don't you stay for dinner?" "Dinner? Is it your wedding feast? Is your mom discussing your wedding details? Do I need to be there for that? Grace, do you have to talk like that? Can't you be more understanding, like Chloe?" "Why should I be understanding now that we're divorced? You're usually straightforward, but why are you dragging your feet this time? Is it me you can't let go of, or is it you yourself? Who can't let go? I'm only looking out for you, always causing trouble for Chloe, showing up at my dinner, coming to mom's house to make a scene, looking like you can't live without me. I'm pitying you by giving you a chance to change your mind." "Well, thank you, but I don't need it." After that, Marcus and Chloe quieted down for a while. If I hadn't been delivering a dress to Sophia and she hadn't shown me a news headline, "Business becomes romantic, proposal sweetness the charts," I wouldn't have known Marcus had proposed. The thoughtfulness extended to jasmine-shaped fireworks blooming in the sky and thousands of drones. It was indeed sweet. Sophia said Marcus was more generous than before and that I was naive to have agreed to marry him for just a bouquet of flowers and a box of paper cranes. I also received a wedding invitation from Marcus and Chloe. Chloe personally delivered it to me. I had no intention of going. Milo was about to be on holiday, and I planned to take him skiing abroad. For a month, Milo and I had a blast overseas. During this time, Marcus called me numerous times using different numbers and sent me texts when I didn't answer his calls. I ignored them all. But when he learned I was back in the country, he simply waited for me at the airport. In the bustling arrivals area, he held a bouquet of my favorite flowers. His voice was remorseful. "Grace, I know I was wrong. I really can't live without you. Can you forgive me and marry me again?" 5 No. I was no longer the naive girl who would be captivated by pretty flowers or swayed by the passionate atmosphere around me. Milo held my hand tightly, his little legs pumping furiously, as if the most terrifying monster was chasing us. All the previous properties had been sold, so I took Milo to our new home. He loved swimming, and there was an outdoor pool on the second floor. He loved playing with Legos, and there was a dedicated Lego room on the third floor with thousands of sets, and his beloved rose garden, which I had planted in the conservatory. Mommy, I love it here. Milo's eyes sparkled as if filled with stars. I knew he didn't love the material things here, but the freedom. I loved it here too. Here, I was just Grace. I didn't have to be the powerhouse in my project team, didn't have to be the perfect Mrs. Marcus by his side, and certainly didn't have to swallow my pride in front of his parents just to maintain a good reputation. But I knew Marcus wouldn't be unable to find me. Sure enough, 3 days later, Marcus showed up at my door. He was looking haggard, with dark circles under his eyes, as if he hadn't slept for days. I wondered what huge project was worth him working himself so hard. Seeing that I had no intention of inviting him in, he smiled bitterly. Grace, I regret it. Please come back to me. I can't take it anymore, I beg you. Mr. Marcus, what are you talking about? You have a beautiful wife by your side, and your career is soaring. Who wouldn't envy a life like that? Why talk about not being able to take it? Are you mocking me? Honestly, no. If I had any lingering resentment towards Marcus before, it had faded after a month of carefree living. Life is short, a mere 30,000 days. Everyone goes their separate ways, not disturbing each other is the best choice. So I truly didn't understand what Marcus couldn't take. I previously thought I had drunkenly slept with Chloe, so I felt guilty and agreed to marry her. But later, I found out she had drugged me, and I hadn't even touched her. So, Chloe had played him for a fool. I didn't then want a wedding. My mom and Chloe, behind my back, sent out invitations and only informed me at the last minute. But I still cancelled the wedding, and Chloe kept arguing with me, and my mom kept scolding me. That was normal. Chloe had personally delivered an invitation to me, clearly wanting to gloat, but had pulled the plug on the wedding, a direct slap in her face. How could a delicate jasmine flower like her possibly tolerate that? Ever since we got married, Chloe seemed to have changed into a different person. She's no longer considerate like before, instead, she's become increasingly overbearing. The housekeepers have been changed 7 or 8 times, and she's still not satisfied. Not only does she spend lavishly, but she also loves to voice her opinions during company meetings. When we're discussing collaborations, she follows along and has already caused several partners to refuse to sign contracts. Even in daily life, she often doesn't know where my ties or socks are, or what clothes and watch I should wear for different occasions. After pouring out his grievances, he looked relieved, as if he'd finally seen the light. Grace, honestly, I must have been blind to ever think she was better than you. Now I truly realize how important you are to me. I really can't live without you. I forced a smile. Are you done talking? If so, get out. 6 If I hadn't wanted to hear the rest of the story, I would have kicked him out the moment he stepped into the yard. Now that I'd heard it all, I regretted not doing so earlier. Marcus's expression was flustered, as if he hadn't expected me to show no lingering affection. Grace, I truly know I was wrong. I know you're still angry with me, but please give me another chance. I'll make it up to you, okay? I closed the door on his unpleasant face and let out a deep breath. Marcus had indeed changed, becoming so practical and cutting. When we were dating, he was a very romantic guy. Even though his family had some he never looked down on others. Back then, the way he looked at me was gentle, like water, and he often said things that made me happy. Promises like "I'll love you forever" and "we'll be together for a lifetime" came easily, and back then, we both believed them. Now, that boy had become the high and mighty Mr. Marcus, his eyes full of profit and calculation. When we were together, he thought I was overbearing and enjoyed the gentle and submissive Chloe who depended on him, never appreciating my hard work and sacrifices behind the scenes. Now that he was with Chloe, his eyes were full of her flaws. Being played and manipulated only enraged him further. He used to say Chloe was better than me, now he says I'm better than Chloe. Ultimately, this was just Marcus's calculated answer based on pros and cons. He never thought anyone was truly good, except himself. Worried that Marcus might come looking for me when only Milo was home, I enhanced security to ensure Milo's safety. I also spent a fortune installing surveillance cameras everywhere they could be placed. The day after completion, Chloe showed up at my door. She first prowled around my front door suspiciously, then rang the doorbell. After a long time with no one answering, she frantically pounded on the door. The noise was quite loud, so fearing it might disturb my neighbor's afternoon rest, I had the gatekeeper let her in. The moment she entered, she started looking around, making tisk-tisk sounds. At that moment, she looked nothing like a pure white jasmine flower. Your house is certainly well decorated. Must have cost a lot of money, right? Ultimately, my husband is so generous, he gave you a hefty settlement. She said my husband with emphasis, as if swearing to someone. Sure enough, her boasting was merely delayed, not absent. I smiled at her. If you're envious, you could try divorcing Marcus and see how much he gives you. She turned to face me, smirking triumphantly. You're still clinging on, aren't you? You're just waiting for my husband and me to divorce so you can swoop in, right? No, I actually hope you two have a long and happy marriage. Preferably one where they torment each other forever. But didn't believe me, thinking I was being sarcastic. You don't need to worry about it. Marcus. I mean, my husband and I will definitely grow old together. Not wanting to listen to her rambling on like a lunatic anymore, I spoke calmly. Are you done? If so, you can leave. Unusually, Chloe didn't get angry at my words. Instead, she poured herself a glass of water. Your son is Milo, isn't he? My eyes immediately sharpened. I looked directly at her. What do you want? 7-0, you startled me. Why are you so agitated? I'm not going to do anything illegal. It's just that now that I'm married to Marcus, Milo should start calling me mom. It's quite exciting to think about. I scoffed. In your dreams. What? You think it's impossible? I found out exactly where he goes to school a couple of days ago. As long as I spend more time with him, butter him up a bit, he'll call me mom. I said nothing, merely raised an eyebrow slightly, gesturing for her to go ahead. After she left, I threw the cup Chloe had used into the trash can and had someone clean the entire house before I felt a sense of relief. Over the next few days, Milo couldn't help but complain to me. That weird Ms. Chloe keeps trying to pick me up from school every day and often tries to give me gifts. Sometimes it's little cakes, sometimes it's iron figures. When I don't want them, she forces them on me. It's so annoying. So how did you handle those gifts? After all, I'd never seen Milo bring any of them home. I gave them all to my classmates. They think Ms. Chloe is super nice, but I find her smile really unsettling. I ruffled Milo's hair, feeling quite bad for him. Mommy, Ms. Chloe says I should call her. But I don't want to. I only have one mommy. If you don't want to, then don't. Who can fork? You? And I only have one son. But someone did try to force Milo to call Chloe, not Chloe herself, but Eleanor. This particular day I wasn't busy, so I decided to pick Milo up myself. As soon as I arrived at the school gate, I saw Eleanor clutching Milo, pressing down on his head, and muttering something towards Chloe. Milo's face was flushed red, tears welling in his eyes. He was clearly in pain. The bodyguard stood by, unsure whether to intervene. I took a few quick steps forward, swatted away Eleanor's hand, and pulled Milo into my arms to check him over carefully. Fortunately, only his face and neck were a little red, he wasn't seriously injured. Chloe muttered nearby, is it really so hard for him to just call me mom? Perfect timing, you're here. Let's discuss Milo calling Chloe mom. Now that Chloe and Marcus are married, it's not unreasonable for Milo to call her mom, is it? You're just stubbornly refusing. I looked at Eleanor, who took it for granted that she could still control me, and scoffed. Then why don't you let Marcus's dad find another wife, and then have Marcus start calling someone else mom? How can that be the same? She looked at me as if I'd said something outrageous. Then don't try to dictate who my son calls mom. If you're so keen on hearing it, have your own child. Sensing the drama, people started to gather. Eleanor, who was very concerned with appearances, immediately pulled Chloe away. I thought they would stop there, but it escalated. They not only spread rumors outside but also posted anonymous tips online, claiming I was promiscuous, often hanging out with different men even before divorcing Marcus. And now that I was divorced, I was a bad mother who wouldn't let my child call Marcus's new wife mom. The story's popularity soared, seriously damaging my public image at the company. So, when Marcus came to the company to deliver flowers again, I stopped him. Marcus looked surprised and pleased. Grace, have you forgiven me? I knew you were the one who loved me most. Did you read the letter I wrote you? Did you? I cut him off. Do you know about what's happening online? 8. What's happening? Your mom and Chloe are spreading rumors and tarnishing my public image, all to make Milo call Chloe mom. Are you going to deal with this or not? If not, I'm calling the police directly. Marcus's expression was displeased, as if he disapproved of what his mom and Chloe had done, and also of me bringing it up at that moment. But he still opened his phone and searched online. The internet was flooded with the stack of photos he had given me before. Where did these photos come from? My private investigator. It was Chloe. It was rare for him to react so quickly this time. I'll go talk to them. I'll get you some answers. 2 days later, all related images and reports were removed from the entire internet and could no longer be found. Chloe, furious, came to my house to scold me, just as Andre, who was delivering flowers to me, arrived. Before she could even speak, she pulled out her phone and snapped several photos of us. Andre, unaware of the situation, was surprisingly cooperative, which left me speechless. Grace, you really haven't changed at all. You used to be very close to your clients when you were with Marcus. Now you're divorced, still thinking about Marcus, yet you're also looking for men to fill the void. It seemed Chloe had a particular narrative for me. Think what you like. Then I turned and rejected Andre again. He and I met while skiing abroad with Milo. At first, he was disheartened, thinking I was married, but after learning from Milo that I was divorced, he had been persistently pursuing me. He even followed me from Russia back to China. Before I could send both of them away, Marcus arrived again, carrying 2 boxes of my favorite sushi. For some inexplicable reason, he and Andre began to compete with each other. One boasted about owning a company that would ensure I ever wanted for anything, while the other claimed his family owned several mines, enough for me to spend lavishly. If looks could kill, I would have died 10,000 times over from Chloe's gaze. That's enough, both of you. Andre, as I said before, I have no interest in dating right now. As for Marcus, Mr. Marcus, we're divorced, and you have a new wife. Unless it's business, I think it's best if we don't meet privately. Grace, we dated for 5 years and were married for 3. Do you truly feel nothing for me anymore? Nothing. Marcus left dejectedly, and Chloe immediately chased after him. Andre shrugged, indicating he wouldn't give up, but he was much better at reading the room than Marcus and left without me having to tell him to. Over the next 2 weeks, I closed 2 more big deals, becoming even busier. I didn't have time to take care of Milo, so I asked Sophia to watch him for a few days, since she had plenty of free time. When I finished work and went to pick him up, the child walked towards me in a crisp little suit, holding a bouquet of tulips. In his other hand, he carried a small box. I chuckled and asked him, "What's in the box?" "All the paper cranes I folded at Sophia's house these past few days." He handed me the flowers and the box. "Mommy, I can give you these things too, so you don't have to be touched by such gifts anymore." Yes, Mommy understands. My friend Sophia must have said something to Milo to prompt this. But I was long past the age of naivety. How could I believe in such things anymore? The following period was relatively peaceful. Milo was supposed to visit Eleanor's house every 2 weeks, but given the previous incident, Marcus found it hard to bring it up again. So, I pretended it didn't exist, saving myself the trouble of running back and forth. Marcus stopped coming to my place, but Andre continued to visit frequently. He had gotten smarter, knowing it was difficult to approach me directly, so he started trying to win over Milo and Sophia. I don't know what methods he used, but both of them started speaking highly of him to me. Milo would even occasionally invite Andre to play at our house. To spend more time with me, Andre even started getting involved in my work, refusing to be dissuaded. With his help, I actually secured several large contracts. Given this, I found it hard to harshly send him away every time. It would make me seem too unreasonable. But I still had no intention of dating. It's okay. We can start as very close friends, and if you ever feel I'm worthy, you can upgrade me. I found his suggestion amusing, and I agreed. Since and Andre became increasingly familiar, when I was too busy with work, I would ask Andre to pick him up or take him out to play. Until one afternoon, I received a call from him. "Milo is missing." Without exaggeration, I felt my heart stop for a beat. But I quickly calmed down and asked for details. Andre said that after picking Milo up from school today, they went to an amusement park. He had only gone to buy Milo an ice cream, and Milo was gone. We searched everywhere. The bodyguard said 2 people in black clothes took Milo, but there were too many people, and even after checking the surveillance footage, their faces weren't clear. I coolly pulled out my phone. I put a tracker in Milo's shoe. Opening my phone, I found the location was near the Bayview. The next second, an unknown number called. "Grace, if you don't want your son to die, bring Marcus and meet me at the Bayview." The call ended. I clutched my phone tightly, wishing I could tear Chloe to shreds, but I had no choice but to do as she said. When I rushed to the Bayview, Chloe was crouched by the outermost railing. Milo was tied to a nearby pillar. His usually rosy cheeks were pale from the sea wind, his eyes were tightly shut, and his body trembled, either from cold or fear. Finally, you're here. I've been waiting for ages. Marcus had a look of utter exasperation. Chloe. Do you know you're committing a crime? Let go right now, or when the police arrive, we won't be so reasonable. Chloe reacted like a cat whose tail had been stepped on. Did you call the police? No, I replied. Seeing his incredulous expression, I spoke in a firm tone. I need to ensure Milo's safety. Chloe seemed to have finally rested enough and stood up. She looked at me with a wry, almost mournful smile. Grace, you really are so lucky, aren't you? Marcus and that handsome foreigner, it's bad enough they're both constantly fawning over you. Now wants a divorce. He wants a divorce. He claims he only married me out of guilt, not because he truly loved me. He says you're the one he loves. Yet when he was with you before, wasn't he always coming to see me? Protecting me in front of you, promoting me at work, even sleeping at my place several times. But after we got married, he started giving me the silent treatment. Marcus, yes, I manipulated you, but it was only because I loved you too much. Marcus frowned. Don't say that word. It disgusts me. Chloe suddenly let out a laugh. Disgusting? If what I did is disgusting, then what do you call all the things you did to Grace? And you're still hoping Grace will come back to you? That's never going to happen in this lifetime. Seeing them about to start another endless argument, I was only concerned that Milo couldn't withstand the cold wind out here. What are your terms? Tell me. I want Marcus to agree to divorce me 2 months from now, and after the divorce, I want a $50 million settlement. Don't even think about it. I won't give you a single dime, sign it. Is your money more important, or is Milo? Milo is still in her hands. Marcus, his face pale with fury, signed the agreement. It was an exchange, the agreement for Milo. Without bothering about what further disputes or entanglements those two might get into, I rushed Milo to the hospital. He was exposed to the sea breeze for quite some time. His throat is swollen, and he has a minor lung infection, but overall, it's nothing serious. Then why isn't he awake yet? He inhaled an overdose of sedatives. Let him rest well for the night, he should wake up by tomorrow morning. Sitting by Milo's bedside, I gently brushed the stray hairs from his forehead, vowing to send Chloe to prison. I contacted a few people. Investigate thoroughly and patiently. Don't let any clue slip by. I never expected that before I could uncover anything substantial, Marcus's company suddenly imploded. Financial fraud, suspected of illegal activities under investigation, and even its core operations faced a major crisis. It was obvious someone was intentionally trying to ruin him. What I didn't expect was that this person was Chloe. She had long collaborated with a rival company, setting up this scheme together. Many of Marcus's company's business secrets were provided by her, abusing her position. No wonder she demanded Marcus divorce her 2 months later. She wanted to make another huge profit during that time. I thought to myself, how could Chloe ever be satisfied with a mere $50 million? By the time I learned the whole story, Marcus had already decided to sue her. Whether they divorced or not was no longer important. What mattered was minimizing the losses. Do you think this is a case of dog eat dog? If had known his relationship with Chloe would end like this, do you think he would still have agreed to your divorce? I met Sophia's amused look. There's no possibility of that. Alright, let's not talk about that. What about you and Andre? If you ask me, that guy's a good catch, you should just go for it. We're taking it slow. He's not in a hurry, so why are you? Sophia playfully ran to hit me, and I, holding Milo's hand, dodged left and right. He was absolutely thrilled, and the familiar smile finally returned to his face. To prevent Milo from developing any psychological trauma, I transferred him to a new school, and no matter how busy I was, I always picked him up myself. Soon, Milo's 5th birthday arrived. 11 My wishes for Mom, Sophia, and me to live happily together. Andre frantically gestured from the side, and Milo added, and, after eating cake, Milo and Andre went upstairs to play games. Sophia conspiratorially leaned in, saying she wanted to show me a video. In the video were Marcus, Eleanor, and Chloe. It was a chaotic scene of people grabbing, dodging, and protecting each other. Son, listen to your mother. Chloe didn't mean it. It wasn't that much money. Can't you just let it go for my sake? Just for your mother's sake. Marcus, utterly furious, exclaimed, not much? Who told you it wasn't much? The things and project data she stole and sold, the cheapest project was $2 million, and the core secrets are worth hundreds of millions. Our family is on the verge of bankruptcy, and you're still defending her? What? How could we lose so much money? Are we really going bankrupt? What are we going to do? Eleanor looked as if her world had come crashing down. I came back this time to take Chloe away. She created this mess, and naturally, she has to pay the price. Will she go to jail? Son, this simply won't do. Chloe is pregnant. At least wait until she gives birth. As for that son you had before, he doesn't even come back anymore, so I might as well consider him not my grandson. Chloe stepped forward, gently stroking her belly with a tender expression. Yes, I'm pregnant. Marcus's face went blank for a moment. Then he advanced menacingly towards Chloe, raising his hand and slapping her directly. The force was so great that Chloe fell to the ground. Eleanor, looking heartbroken, moved to help her up but was grabbed by Marcus. Chloe, I didn't touch you the night you schemed against me. After we got married, I rarely slept with you. What's more, I had a vasectomy a long time ago. Whose child is in your belly? The video froze on Chloe's panic-stricken face. What a truly spectacular drama. Speaking of vasectomies, I suddenly remembered something. In the years Marcus still cared deeply for me, he used to treasure me more than his own eyes. Pregnancy was too hard on me, he said he didn't want a second child, and went straight for the vasectomy. But that was a long, long time ago. I attended Chloe's trial. Milo's former English teacher was there too. It seemed I hadn't been mistaken, that person was indeed Chloe. The child in Chloe's belly was that man's. As the case concluded, Chloe was found guilty of multiple crimes and sentenced to 30 years in prison. Afterward, Marcus saw me, but after seeing Andre and Milo waiting outside, he chose not to approach. A text message arrived on my phone. I wish you happiness. I knew that was what Marcus couldn't bring himself to say to my face. Of course, I will be happy. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comment section. Feel free to share your views, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.